Welcome back. This is Grubaugh Motorsports. We just finished the last video, the outro for it, and we're going to go ahead and start this one. There's something on the cars that I feel like I should show to help you guys kind of understand some of the struggles we go through as racers. Some of the biggest costs that we have, other than and expenses, outside of the normal wear and tear, the biggest one for us that can be preventable by the tracks is tires. So let me go ahead and show you the difference between a slick racy racetrack, and it was our Top Gun car, so a little bit less power, and a slick abrasive racetrack. So as we go, so here's the back of our Top Gun car. This was a brand new right rear before the feature. Right? You can tell it's got some laps, but honestly, we could race this tire again. And we ran 18 laps. If you watch the past videos, you will see why we didn't complete any more than that. Here was the left rear from that same night. And I mean, that's the inside edge, man. It's not even tore up. I thought the track was kind of taking a little bit of rubber, but apparently it was just like the pockets in the track. Wendell is he is sharp when it comes to taking care of the track, but it's flat because of that berth hole right there. You should go back and watch that video. It was a pretty decent race until it wasn't. But I mean, look at that. This track was slick. You could run the bottom, you could run the top, you could run the middle, you could slide from the bottom to the top. I mean, you could really move all over the track. And look at this tire. Look at that thing. Now here's another brand new set of tires that have one 27 lap feature on them. This is when we were up at Rome. And look at that. Gone. Just a little bit of life left in this thing. We got almost all of our pennies out of it. Come over to the right rear, and I mean, honestly, for what it could be, I mean, we're pretty evenly wear. With a stagger, you expect to wear out that part of the tire, and you expect this to have a little bit more. But I mean, honestly, our wear across it was good. And if you look at the tires, I mean, it'd be too low for most people who groove or sipe, but we didn't touch this tire because I was afraid the track was going to rubber up, or the track was either going to be really slick, and at that point, I didn't want to build too much tire heat with siping, and I wanted to keep these blocks as big as possible for contact. And both tires were brand new and no cuts. I thought it was pretty decent. But the big issue with that tire wear is these rear tires are, I think, 335, 340 for a right rear, and 340 to 350 for a left rear. Then you look at that and you go to the front tire, and it also killed the front tire, which is $280, and you can see it all weathered. So not only did it kill the rear tires, it really hurt this front tire. And if the track is good, we can use a set of fronts for a season. Big expenses. Here we go, getting ready for another race. This car races in 3 weeks. And we just put the new bullet in it. We still got to do all of our plumbing, put the radiator and stuff in it, but we got time. We just want to get most of it done so that we can get this motor shipped off to Chris so we can get it freshened up and get it back before the end of the season. Our Top Gun car is sitting here. The wings are at a place, seeing if they get wrapped. If they do, we'll tell you where it went. And it's just kind of sitting here, just waiting to see what the weather's going to do. And I got a new barrel valve coming for our backup motor right here. New barrel valve and everything coming, but we're going to go ahead and put this motor in this car. And we're going to see if we can make this thing race ready by the weekend. And if we don't, then we don't. But we'll see what happens with this thing. Well, it's race day, but we're not racing. We got some busy weeks coming up here, and Mama said we can't race 3 weeks in a row, then go on vacation, and then race again. and then I forget what's after that. It's like a 5-week look ahead. So at the beginning of the week, or a 10-day look ahead, 5-day look ahead, 3-day look ahead, weather looked really bad. So it was a non-wing race. So instead of doing all the work and getting the non-wing car ready, it was, hey, let's just stay in the shop for a weekend and kind of get some things ready. So that's what we're going to do. We started tinkering with the old car. We got the spare motor in here. I'm going to work on this today. I want to make sure this motor gets all sealed up. I got to get that motor 100% sealed up and everything, all the water lines and everything done. Get the fuel pump out of that car and put the fresh fuel pump in it, because I have to send it off to Chris Moss next week so that he can start getting it all ready. Here we are at the parts counter. Before I get going, I've cleaned some tools off of here, some wrecked parts and some things that were all sitting here. I got 3 bent Jacobs ladders, so I'm going to pull all the straps off of these items and get them all ready to go. And as you've heard us talk about the barrel valve on this other motor, here's the injection. Let me zoom out for you. So here's the old Hillborn injection for our backup Top Gun motor, and right there in that hole is where the barrel valve sits. All the fuel linkage and everything connects to it to control fuel coming through. Here are the barrel valves. Here's a new one. As I pulled all the old lines off, I had to put all new O-rings on to put in this barrel valve. Here is the actual barrel valve here. So you'll see that line, that hole that's right there, that is actually how the low speed works, which is here. That hole goes through the center of that. This is a cylinder that's inside of here, and that hole runs through it to bleed off fuel at basically an idle. So as it's sitting like this, let's turn the flash on so we can see in there better. Usually it's sitting about like that under idle, and you'll see as it opens, there's a channel there. And then as it goes through like that and wide open throttle, it's allowing all of the fuel to go through into the bottom part of the barrel valve. They go to the fuel lines, go to the injector. Hey, look, there's a baby over there. Coming to hang out with Dad for a little bit. So my focus is to get the barrel valve on this injection and get the motor kind of sealed up in that car, and then get the motor complete in the other car so we can ship the backup motor off so we can get it freshened up. And then one of the other things that were kind of holding us up on going this weekend was when we were in Rome, one of our slides on the RV started acting up. Basically, this spot on both sides, something bound up, and that circle hole now turned into an oval. And it is cheaper just to buy the entire part than it is to just get this. So that new piece will be here sometime today, and we will get that installed. And on top of that, the hitch that's on Dad's old truck is not holding up. It's the factory hitch on the 3500, and we need to replace it with a more heavy duty hitch, and it's sitting on the front porch and it'll be ready to go into. So we just got multiple things that we want to do. So we decided to take this race off so that we can go to Hendry County, hopefully next week, and make our only trip down south to see all of our friends down there. Acorns dropping on the shop. That'll be our only trip to Hendry County this year. The weekend after is kind of what we're really focusing on, which is Deep South, which is one of our last 360 shows before we go to Volusia. And then the weekend after that, we'll be at the finals with Orzakowski Racing and Mark Rule Racing up there. Just watch it. That's our outlaw show for the year. We're going to go up for the finals, hang out. If you haven't seen their new video, you need to hop on over and see what their plans are for 2024. I think you'll be a little excited. So, all right, well, we're going to get to work. We'll show you some highlights as we go through the day. So here's the bottom of the injection. See the injectors, how they point down through here. These aren't quite as long as the injectors that were in the video a couple videos ago. The new barrel valve is now sitting in here. That's what makes it such a pain, is it screws in from the bottom because of how tight all the clearances are. So I got to go get some tie wire and tie around those 4 bolts and make them where they can never come out. And then get everything kind of situated. So here's the inside of a small block Chevy, and as you can see, the cam is right here underneath this valleyway, and these are your push rods and your roller rockers that go on top of the cam, and you can kind of see how everything works. So here's your intake port that brings your air into here. Useless EGR port. Here's your water ports that go into your heads to help cool everything down. This is where your distributor goes down to your oil pump on a wet sump motor. Distributor is also on the back of a Chevy, but you'll see, you can't really see well, but there's humps on these. There's a hump right here. It's actually rolling off, and there's a hump right there, not on this side. On how this controls, this push rod controls the valves to allow it to open and close, to build compressor, allow air to come in and exhaust to go out so the motor can work properly. So, nothing fancy, just an old Chevy. So we have our silicone on there. Now we're going to let that set up and tack a little bit and before we prep the gaskets and put them on there, and then get the injection set. Hey, it's a sprint car motor again. It's got an injection on it. So we're going to let this thing set up. It's all torqued down, and I'm gonna go eat lunch with the kids and then come back here and put all this stuff back together and get the barrel valve all set up and get it the way it should be and move on. Alright, so I've taken all the stuff off the injection. With the style barrel valve that's here, it takes a different fitting than the one I had, so I'm gonna have to make a hose with a 90, which the stuff that was here wasn't gonna work with that. But I bought a jack shaft kit just in case I needed one to put on either one of my injections, and it makes it a little simpler. It makes it where you can adjust each side individually, where the way this was set up, you know, you had to set one side first to set the other side to then get to the barrel valve, which is set. Barrel valve is set. We like about 18% in these Top Gun motors. This is the gauge that we use, so we're not guessing on what that is. So as you come up, 18% is going to be about 82 pounds on the other side, and it looks like my compressor is low enough to where I can't get to 100. But I promise you, when this is at 100, this is sitting at 82. But I just got done doing it. Now the compressor is not strong enough. As you see, is bringing it down. A way you can check these, it's not quite as accurate, as you can go to 50. And basically, it'll be 9% there. So as you see, we're right here about 42. It's really just underneath it. That's a way you can check it if you don't have a compressor that lasts very long. There it is. What's up, guys? So Sunday's complete, the weekend's all over for us. Next week we plan on racing Hendrick County. I got all the little things I wanted done this weekend done, so that's good. We did some organizing in the shop, got some cabinets up, I moved all the wood that's down. I still have a little bit more to do to organize the way I want to make it a little easier for us. Took trash today, so honey-do list was done there. We got the engine crated up and all in the back of this Rocco truck, so I could take it to work and we can have it there ready when they're ready to pick the motor up and ship it off to Chris. Got the fuel pumps and everything out of the car, the MSD and everything that was on there. It's all in the box. It's all ready to go. Just gotta print out a label at Sirocco tomorrow and tape it to the box so it's all ready to go. Outside of that, got the injection done this weekend, and we just did some miscellaneous cleaning up. Now it's Sunday night. Me and little man just got out of the shower. Mama's in the shower. And we're watching some sensory stuff here for little man while he gets his tummy time. There we go. So we just spent a little bit of quality time. I just put Savannah to bed, and Isaac will be in bed in about 20 minutes. So we had a pretty good productive weekend. Sucks we didn't race the non-wing race. Everybody knows I really love non-wing racing, but it's just what we needed to do. This week our goals will be to go through the rear end of the car from the wreck at Alltech. You know, knock some stuff out in the rear end. So we just got to go through, make sure it's all nice and square and good to go. All tires are already mounted for Alltech, or not Alltech, for Hendry County. We've had some 92s mounted up ready to go for a few Hendry County races. We've just never made it. And then we're going to get the hitch on the truck. Adam said that the motor for the slide, it came in, so we'll get that back in so that it's all operational, good to go, and we'll see what we get from there. We're hoping to be loaded up by Thursday night. Should be pretty easy, and I think he's tired of hearing me talking. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Tell him like my dad. Tell him. He's chewing on that forearm. It must be good. So y'all have a good night. You'll see the next video coming up, getting us ready for Hendry County.